Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Yep.
Sorry, I have no idea what happened. Okay, I'd like to welcome everyone to tonight's meeting of the Rockland Board of Sewer Commissioners. This meeting is being taped for playback later on WRPS and YouTube. The agenda of those items listed are open for discussion. Other items not listed may be discussed to the extent permissible by law. With that, I'll take a motion to open tonight's meeting.
Make a motion.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
second,
All in favor, Mr. Ross,
Yes.
Valley,
yes.
Mr. Hession's a yes, that is unanimous. The backlog of minutes. Sherry, do you have anything to add to that? I know I saw a bunch from you. I'm assuming they're the working session meetings.
That is correct.
Have you had a chance to talk to Robin on where we stand? Oh, there's Robin. Robin, can you hear me? Evidently, Robin can't. Robin's gonna try to log in by phone. She's somewhere else. Have you had a chance to talk to Robin about the regular minutes?
Yes, and we have put together a plan to get caught up on those as well. We'll,
Can you hear me now?
Now can you hear
There
me?
you are.
Yeah, I saw that commercial.
So, I did a couple of the minutes when Bobby Joe was there, but my plan is to go back and get fully caught up once we, have the new part-time senior clerk.
Is Lisa Landry on board with that?
She is. Well,
Okay.
I mean, I explained to her the situation. She understands, so.
Okay, that's good enough for me, as long as she's aware of it.
She actually sent us that email because I wondered if there were any repercussions from not posting. And so she went and found out and sent that to us.
Yep, no, I appreciate that. Long as we got a plan to do it and she's in agreement, I'm all for it. Robin, I know you're away somewhere else. Do you have any abatements or
I have no abatements,
any drain layers?
no drain layers.
Do you want to pass any administrative updates? You can do what,
I think I will pass on the administrative updates because, they're in that big binder at work and I didn't want to drag it around and I figured I'd catch up with you maybe at the next working session. Maybe I could pop in.
you got it. And I understand you're away from the house. So if you want to go take care of what you're doing and, I'll see you in the morning.
Okay, that's perfect. Thank you so much.
Okay,
All right, have a good evening.
you too. With that, we'll jump to Josh Gray Road. Is there anybody here from Josh Gray Road? I think what we're looking for is a vote of approval for connection for 91 Josh Gray Road to bring everyone up to speed. 91 Josh Gray Road is an existing home with 3 bedrooms. They've been connected for quite a few years. They are proposing a second floor addition with the addition, I believe, of 3 bedrooms. So that does keep them under the moratorium. We talked about that earlier. Their plans are in the office. I think we all looked at them. What I have put together is conditions for the permit if we vote approval tonight. All sewer work is to be done by a Rockland Sewer Department licensed drain layer. If the existing cast lateral is cast iron or clay, it is to be replaced with 6-inch PVC piping with 2 cleanouts per the Rockland sewer rules and regulations, verified by inspection with the Rockland Sewer Department. The reason I'm saying that is the home is over 40 years. We could give them the option if you wish to camera that line. I'll leave that up to the other boards. And if the pipe is fine, that we can just say, we could drop that condition. But I think we should at least change that to maybe say, one of the conditions is to camera the lateral. And okay, I'll change that to make sure that
Yes.
it's in good condition. If not, it has to be replaced. Number 3, the contractor shall schedule all inspections with the Rockland Sewer Department with a minimum of 3-day notice. All sewer lines, laterals, cleanouts must be clearly indicated on the final as-built drawings submitted to the Rockland Sewer Department in both hard copy and electronic format at the time of inspection. This approval is for a 6-bedroom maximum, and there shall be no additional connections to this service. So
I'd like to amend that and have it read that the approval is for an addition of 3 bedrooms for a maximum of, because this looks like he's adding on 6 bedrooms.
okay. This approval is for an addition of 3 bedrooms.
Yes. For a maximum of 6 bedrooms on site.
And there shall not be additional connections to this service. Okay. Okay, I'll edit that tonight and give that to Robin.
Yeah, just to clarify. And is this approval letter going to go out with a fee schedule?
Yes, the fee schedule wasn't, we approved the fee schedule. Do you want me to post that fee schedule or go over with you? They've
Or
seen
do-
it.
Copy it with the letter when it goes out?
Oh, no, it'll go out with the letter.
Yeah, I don't
Okay,
have the final.
all right, I'll make a motion that we approve 91 Josh Gray Road for the 3-bedroom addition. Do I have a
Second.
second? So I have a second. All in favor, Mr. Ross,
Yes.
Ms. Valley,
Yes,
and Mr. Hessian is a yes. I'll make those additions and get that up tonight.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
They're not going for any additional bathroom, nothing, right?
I believe there is a bathroom added as well, but the Title
Oh, it
V
is?
is based on,
Okay. Okay, I didn't hear that. I thought they already had 2 bathrooms.
no, that will be the second bathroom.
Okay.
Okay, with that, the representatives from Holy Family Apartments here tonight.
Eric Kozarski with Conley and Partners, Director of Development.
Eric, I'll turn the meeting over to you. Go right ahead. You're up.
All right, so we're here tonight to request your approval to connect to the sewer system. Austin Chartier's here with McKenzie Engineering Group. He put together our plans and submitted them to you just about 2 weeks ago. This is the former Holy Family Catholic School. We are going to be converting it into
Yeah.
27 1-bedroom senior-only apartments.
You do attention?
The question I had, I'd like to explain to the public how this came before us. The board is viewing this as although it is a new use, they do have an existing sub, so they are a user. And the way it is justified is that with their new flows from this apartment complex will be less than the original use. So that's why we feel that is an acceptable, it is an exception to the moratorium. The question I have is that there was the original sewer line was going to be redone, rerouted from under.
Yes.
In that, could you describe that a little bit, please?
Yeah, so currently the sewer line serving the church and the residents right now run underneath the school. Our plan will pick up the sewer line at the manhole north of our school, right below the church and the residents. Bring that line, bring a new line around the building along the roadway and connect in to the existing line that's in Del Prete Avenue. So we will abandon the existing line that goes underneath our building and construct a new line for the church property that goes around the building. And then we will connect into that new line pretty much right at the curb line.
And you're gonna flush and cap that line?
Yeah, yep. We'll take it out of service properly.
Right, and you were also adding a grinder pump.
Yep, we added that into the plans per your request.
Yep. Does they need?
Yeah, that sewer line will be in an easement as well, so the church and the town will have access to the new line throughout the property, so.
You read my notes, very good. Does anybody else have any questions of the board? What's your schedule for construction?
We've gotten word that we've received the funding that we need from the state agencies, and we're working towards closing and starting construction in November of this year.
Very good. With that, I'll entertain a motion to approve the Holy Family Senior Housing.
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
Second,
We have a motion and a second. All in favor of approval for the Holy Family Apartment Complex? By vote, Mr. DeRoss,
Yes.
Ms. Valley,
yes,
and Mr. Ashland's a yes. Congratulations, guys, and I wish you all the luck in the world.
Thank you. Appreciate
Thank you.
your efforts on our behalf.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay. Next on the agenda was a representative, the cost to meet. As you remember from the last meeting, we were gonna reach out to Representative David DeCoste for a meeting. I left two messages. I spoke with Amy. I guess I think it's Amy, his assistant or receptionist, and was gonna give him a message. I never heard back, so we'll schedule him again for next month. Okay. Have that South Weymouth Naval Air Station. Okay, this is gonna be interesting, guys. As you're aware, we've had 5 meetings, 2 in person, 3 virtual with representatives of Brookfield Development and Tetra Tech. And John Tuwick, I believe his name is pronounced, he was heading up the project. We developed a comprehensive investigation plan through Weston Sampson, who was heading it up. Let me take a step back. Originally, I'm gonna call New England Development gave us $15,000 to fund engineering support. $5,000 was going to go to Veolia, $5,000 to Wright Pierce, $5,000 to Weston Sampson. Veolia did not participate, so it was $5,000 to Wright Pierce and $10,000 to Weston Sampson to participate in these meetings. That fund has been exhausted and invoiced. On June 13th, I received a letter stating, I'm gonna put the letter up. Let me see, where's share screen? Can everybody see that?
No.
Cannot see it?
no,
Okay, let me try this. Can you see me? Okay, wait a minute. Share. Now I lost everyone.
Don't feel bad.
no, wait, it's coming, it says you've started screen sharing. Uh-oh,
Wait a minute.
My screen went from H from
Okay.
3, now it's on 3 and 3 and a half.
Something's going on with this. Well, I can't do it.
we
No,
see a
wait a minute.
beautiful desktop, wait a minute. Says we're viewing your screen,
Can you see that?
yes,
I can see it.
You
but
got it?
a letter to you from New England Development.
Okay. This is the letter I received last week, in response to a letter I sent them. The letter I sent them saying that, what do they want to do? Our funding is limited. The original plan, I believe it's down here in the bottom, was that we were going to do, is my letter to them. Can you see that?
Yes,
Hello? Okay,
Yeah,
this is what we were gonna do. Item 1, 80% of the town, water line was gonna be about $210,000. They balked at that and came back and stated that they would contribute $80,000. Tetra Tech would be doing the testing, doing the smoke and dye testing. I'm gonna stop sharing that right now because they were gonna do the smoke and dye testing. And that's where it stands. If you recall, I sent a letter to Attorney Galvin listing some concerns we have, and one of the big concerns I have is that I don't want the board being perceived as a roadblock, but in this world, we all know that nobody does anything for nothing. Nothing is free. What I want is a document of some form, and Bob Galvin, our attorney, agreed with me of what is the intent. They do this smoke testing. Say, for example, we find 100,000 gallons. I'm just using that as a number. Do they own that 100,000 gallons because they paid us or what? We just need something clarified of where we go from here. So, Weston Sampson agreed as well. And so we're gonna hold off until we hear back from scheduling another meeting till we hear back from New England Development. Now, I also asked Attorney Galvin to appear at the open public meeting to go over our concerns and to bring us up to speed of, the legalities of what we're doing. He did not respond to that, but I'm sure he's waiting to hear back from their attorney. If anybody wants a copy of this letter, they can submit a public records request. I'll be glad to send it to them. So the bottom line with the bases, we're all on hold until we hear from them. Their supplemental investigation submittal the supplemental filing to the MIPA is out. I really haven't had a chance to get into it. I am confused. If I understand it right, they're looking at, and I may have this wrong, that's why I'm saying I've got to read it more, but it looks like they may be counting on some of the Abington flow coming to Rockland. We have an intertown agreement with them to accept 110,000 gallons of wastewater from Abington. We've been averaging using about 60, say, let's use 68,000 gallons as a number. And if I read it right, they may want to take the rest of that. I'd have hesitations on that because when we have the heavy rains, and I check with Rick, our project manager, that when we see the heavy rains, we see the inflow from Abington as well. So it shoots up to the 100 past their use. So I don't think that's an option, but again, I may not understand that document yet. I really need more time to read it. So that's where we stand on the base. It's totally up in the air. As far as the facility upgrade, I'm going to take this in two sections. We had a meeting Tuesday of this week on the generator the new generator we purchased, which is technically part of the upgrade, but we needed that in emergency. We took that with ARPA funds. One company showed up to do a walkthrough. I guess there's another one scheduled for Tuesday to do a walkthrough. So that project is online, and Sherry will go into a little bit more on that. As far as the facility upgrade, and I'm going to ask Sherry to go into the earmark section later as well, but we do have a scope of work for the generator phase of for the facility upgrade. I want to read the initial portion to you. Wright Pierce prepared a comprehensive wastewater treatment plan assessment and evaluation report in April of 21. The results recommended a comprehensive upgrade, yada, yada, yada. Now, here's where it gets into the upgrade. It says, we understand the town does not have sufficient financial resources to complete a comprehensive upgrade of the wastewater treatment plant as a single project. Because of this, the town, their contract operator Veolia, and Wright Pierce have reviewed the recommended improvements to prioritize these upgrades in light of the town's budget constraints. While there are many priorities, including the need to meet new effluent phosphorus limits, including in our discharge permit, Veolia identified the secondary treatment process and electric distribution system as a more immediate priority based on the age, condition, and the ability to provide a reliable long-term treatment. I'm just going to interject on that. That was also expedited because of the numerous SSOs who've had those high flow events, which have really absolutely cut holding capacity almost in half. Therefore, the Sewer Commission requested that Wright Pierce develop a scope and fee to provide a preliminary and final design phase engineering services for equipment upgrades to the secondary treatment process, replacement of the main electrical feed system, and portions of the electrical distribution system related to the secondary treatment system. These improvements will address the long-term reliability of the secondary treatment process, but will not provide additional treatment capacity or address compliance with the effluent phosphorus limits. If consistent compliance with the new stringent effluent phosphorus limits cannot be achieved, it would be necessary to incorporate the tertiary filtration system recommended for phosphorus removal. In addition, the town will still and must aggressively pursue I&I reduction within its collection system and continue to be prepared to manage the high flows at the plant. The average and peak flow capacities at the wastewater plant will remain the same after this upgrade. Bottom line, he's saying we're not going to gain any capacity, but this thing has to take place. Now, the design phase, just the design phase of this contract, which will design that portion of the $35 million upgrade, is $1.7 million. Now, that's part of the 35 million. Right now, this contract is at review with town council. Once they have approved that and we've made the necessary edits, which all attorneys always do, I will publish that contract for review. Does anybody have any questions on that? Oh, one thing I want to add to that. This is going to be a design bid process. We got so far into it with the initial thing with the phosphorus that we decided to continue with the design of one house because it was more economical. The actual build will go out for competitive bid. Now, once the design phase, the blueprints are within 60% of completion, the Board of Sewer Commission is going to hire an outside project manager to oversee this project. Right now, it looks like our timetable for that will be around September right now, but that's all determining how this initial design starts taking place before we bring him in. And that also will be a bid process. Dan, Sherry, Rick, do you have any questions?
What was that percentage that would be, can start to
We're
consider?
hoping to get it to within like a 60% of just a rough design. Then we'll have a rough idea of where it's going. Then that last percent, all the final work, we'll have a outside project manager involved who could tweak it, ask his questions, and get it. But we want to get it to a point that it's where we can be handed off.
Do we have an idea on when we're hoping for a bid? Timeline?
We're looking, I asked that question the other day. We'll probably have the design ready and to go out to bid, I would say September of 25, January 26. I mean, this is a big ticket thing.
But the project manager would be September 24th.
If we get it to within 60% of the design, I'd like to start looking for a project manager around 24.
Okay.
That project manager, would report periodically to the board. I would ask probably monthly upgrades. Would be sitting in all the meetings with them as well, but it'd be one of these that very intense, let him handle it. Well worth the money. Any questions on that? Okay. That's on the agenda. Drainage. I want to say one thing on drainage that there was an email sent to the board. I want to make sure I don't interpret this wrong. I don't have it on my hands readily. I'm not going to waste my time digging around looking for it. Bottom line is that an individual feels the sewer commissioners and will have lied. I don't know the other word, that we're lied and we're incompetent, and a lot of people feel that way. I think the person is an elected official, was lashing out due to another problem. But I will tell you this, and I'll go on record, that if anybody in this town thinks this board has lied about anything, I have absolutely no problem addressing any concern in open public meeting. I'm not going to get into it exchanging emails. If somebody's accusing us of lying, have the courage, have the guts to come an open meeting and face us. If these people feel we are throwing individuals under the bus, let them state their reasons for that. And again, we will state our reasons why we have done something to that effect. And I will tell you this, anything this board has said, we have the paperwork and the documentation to back it up. Now, with that said, I'm going to put something up on the screen just so there's no misinterpretations of it. By town charter, this is right from the town charter as of today, until there is a charter change. And I'm assuming that the residents of Rockland are still operating under a town charter, that part of the sewer commission's duties and responsibilities under Part B, the Board of Sewer Commissioners shall also be known as the Drainage Committee and shall have all the powers and duties conferred upon it by the charter, the town bylaws, the votes of town meetings, and the general laws of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. I am not going to get into a pissing contest over drainage. If anybody wants to alter the town charter to change that responsibility, please, if you want to do it, make the arrangements for a special town meeting to do so. In the interim, you get out of that. In the interim, probably right after the 4th of July, we're going to schedule a drainage meeting. It'll be an open public meeting. People can comment, do whatever, say whatever they want, ask the questions of drainage. We'll get it all out in the open. But as long as it's in this board's hands, which by charter and mass general law it is, we were going to adhere to the Massachusetts general law, specifically sections 83, 1, 4, and 5. It is not open to interpretation. I called the state. If there is a difference of opinion of the way the regulation's written, then we're the only municipality who sees it that way. But I am wide open and to any changes anybody wants to make in that. But we'll come up with some ground rules in that, and we will meet. I will schedule an open public meeting in July. Any comments on that? None. The year 3 I&I investigation. That is part of our 5-year I&I control plan. We're ahead of the game. If you remember last year, we conducted a metering study where we broke the town out the 15 zones, 13 or 15, I forget, I think 13, 15, whatever. And we had the flows and everything metered, and we broke it out to the highest levels. We took the 2 highest zones of potential infiltration, which were zones 6 and 11, which said that there may be as much as 276,000 gallons of infiltration available to recover. One state you have a study like that, you usually go in with camera work to do the finite investigation and manhole investigations. And what it revealed was that only 28,000 gallons may possibly be cost effective to remove. So with that, the board decided to bring in the next 2 areas with hoping to gain more I&I. So we investigated areas 9 and 13. That investigation was just concluded. I have no idea on what they found. They're preparing the final report for us. We should have that the end of July, and hopefully we can have at least 100,000 gallons of I&I to go after. However, what this also pointed out is that there is a fairly crushed section of sewer pipe on Hingham and Webster Street that will or should be scheduled to be repaired, and that's going to be around $500,000. So we're hopefully going to merge those projects and get that complete. The numbers that we found with to go back a little bit on the infiltration, those numbers are well within the historical values of what's found. Even the regulators say if you identify infiltration, usually are only successful in getting 15 to 20% of those amounts are recoverable, which is what makes the smoke testing more attractive, because that's going after inflow and will spot illicit drain connections to the sewer system, illegal drains. Now, I'm not saying anybody did that deliberately, but they might have been overlooked when the town converted back over to sewer. And I think the buildings we may find a lot of inflow in would be the older buildings in Rockland, like primarily Uptown, possibly E.T. Wright's, the sandpaper company buildings of that nature, where they were missed and they're still connected to the sewer system. We found a similar situation behind the Memorial Park School when the new Phelps School went in. There was a drain pipe connected to the sewer system, which when they capped it off, flooded the fields. So I'm sure we'll find others. Another one we found is when we were demolishing the Jefferson School, we found the roof drains connected to the sewer system. Inflow is, if you can capture inflow, your success rates are usually quite higher. The metering study said there could be as much as 1.8 million gallons of inflow. Now, those are peak flow numbers, when the peak flow is with heavy rain. So with that, I'd say you might find 1.25 million, which would be a great find, but it's a longer period to recapture that because it's all on private property. Any questions on that? Nope. The upgrade projects and earmarks, I'm gonna turn over to Sherry. We had a question from a member of the Board of Selectmen, Ms. Childs, wondering where we are spending our funds, and she's questioning that. So with that, Sherry, I'd like to turn it over to you.
Okay. The upgrade project, the earmarks, those are the federal funding requests that we put through. And for the plant upgrade, we asked for 35 million as our first ask out of the total project. Both Senator Warren and Senator Keating put it on their earmarks list. And it will now go through the Senate appropriations process, which I believe begins in August. And we should know by the end of the summer. We are also due to make an application for the state revolving funds. That application is due in August as well. So we're really asking different sources for funding. Also, we have a rooftop heating project lined up. We had asked for article funds that were approved at town meeting, but we have also made application to the Green Communities for a grant. So we should know about that. Usually end of June, mid-July, we should have some kind of information on that. I can talk about the ARPA funds specifically now or later.
I wish you would do it now. Are you
Okay.
gonna be able to put that up on the screen, share screen?
No, I got it. I will do it.
Okay, go for it.
Give me a second here. Can you see that?
We got it.
Okay. So, to account for the ARPA funds that are allocated, the town of Rockland, through the select board, approved an allocation for a total of $2,515,000 in ARPA funds for the sewer department. So these funds contributed to 4 different projects. And what I'm going to present will inform you on how these funds contribute to each project. But keep in mind, it's not intended to be a project status update, but will show the impact with the sewer department. For inflow and infiltration, $500,000 in ARPA funding was awarded in September 2022. As Chuck pointed out, investigating and remediating the inflow and infiltration is a costly project. Fiscal year 2023, we spent $260,382. And in fiscal year 24, we have spent $261,051. And as noted, this is not the entirety of the work that was planned. However, it did utilize all of the ARPA funds. Total costs for inflow and infiltration were expected to be about $1,282,000. So after applying the ARPA funding, the sewer department will still need to contribute $782,000 and $260. The digester boiler and piping replacement, $515,000 in ARPA funding was awarded in September 2022. An additional $120,000 in ARPA funds was reallocated in March of 24. And the reallocation came from the ARPA funds that were originally awarded for the plant upgrade. This was done due to the increased cost of installing the boiler and piping. So this is a total of $635,000 in the ARPA funding for this project. $288,628 spent in fiscal year 23. $202,935 spent fiscal year 24. And as Chuck stated, this project is underway. There is currently a balance of $143,437 in ARPA funds. Total costs for the digester boiler and piping are expected to be $910,141. So after applying all the ARPA funding allocated, the sewer department will still need to contribute $275,141. For the generator replacement, $500,000 in ARPA funds was awarded in September of 2023. To date, we've only spent $21,000 But this does not include payment for the actual generator, which will be due on delivery. There is currently a balance of $478,467 ARPA funds available. Total costs for the generator replacement are expected to be $750,000. So after applying this ARPA funding, the sewer department will still need to contribute $250,000.
If I may, at this point, Sherry, I mentioned earlier that we're going out for quotes for the generator installation. That's going to be a significant additional blow to this that was unexpected. So we're going to estimate that we're going to be on top of that 250. We're going to be about another $300,000 easy short.
Thanks, Chuck.
No, tis what it is.
It is. The plant upgrade, $1 million in ARPA funding was originally awarded in August of 2023. As stated, the $120,000 was reallocated in March of 24 for the digester boiler. So this project is still in the planning stages. There's currently a balance of $880,000 ARPA funds available. Total design and bid costs are estimated at $1,853. After applying all the ARPA funding, the sewer department will still need to contribute $973,233. The project information noted on the lower left, it is estimated to be $35 million total for this cost. We do have $1.5 million in a loan available for the plant upgrade.
If I may also at that number, people cannot understand repeatedly why the numbers climb. For every year we do, that's what it's costing today. So please remember that number is going to go up 3%, probably more, every year that we have not broken ground and started. If we have not, as long as we have not purchased anything, keep adding 3% to the cost.
So in summary, for ARPA funds, $2,515,000 was originally allocated. Expenses paid to date on these projects total $1,013,096. So the current ARPA funds balances total $1,501,904. And again, for perspective, the projects that are affected by this total cost are $39 million. That includes the full plant phase 1 upgrade. After applying the ARPA funds that were allocated, the sewer department will still need to contribute $37,280,000. As you can see, the plant upgrade is the most costly of the 4 projects, and to assist with that, in addition to the ARPA funds and sewer revenues, the sewer department has that loan of $1.5 million and are looking for the federal funding earmark requests that are in process now. In closing, the sewer department is an essential service, and it's supported by the resident user fees and builder development fees. The sewer department does not receive any income from town tax revenue, so we work hard to keep our user fees down by monitoring the expenses and seeking outside funding wherever possible. So I think I speak for the entire sewer department when I extend our thank you for aiding these projects with these ARPA funds.
And again, I want to add that if anybody doubts any of the numbers, they can come down anytime, anytime at all, make an appointment, and we will show you every single document. It's a bit lie. Do you want to go working session update, Sherry?
Working session pretty quickly. Hoping that our next session will be able to approve the working session minutes that were distributed. And also the working session, I have asked if we could move that to Wednesdays starting next week. I expect that we'll be talking a lot about the finances. The fiscal year of 24 is coming to an end at the end of this month, and we need to line up our FY25 projects with the funds and make the decisions. Working sessions talk about everything that you hear on these monthly meetings, but it kind of gets into the nitty gritty where we figure things out.
And again, they are open to the public. If anybody wants to sit in on them, they are more than welcome. Agendas are published.
Yep.
How about the part-time clerk, Sherry?
The part-time clerk, a decision has been made. I notified our HR director and she will proceed with notifying the candidate. And then we'll move into the onboarding. And we're hoping to have a start date after the July 4th holiday.
Great. Now, with everything you heard on what we're going to be spending, and I don't want anybody to panic. I want the residents to understand that we are doing everything humanly possible not to increase the user rates greater than the 10% a year that were projected. On the agenda, you will see a fee increase discussion. That fee increase discussion is one we're working on at the working session, and it's going to be primarily focused at development. Currently, we charge $20 a gallon for new flow. That $20 a gallon goes into a maintenance fee calculations, and it goes into I&I calculations. What I have proposed, and the board's going to be discussing it further, is that I am looking at going up to, for residential single family homes or under 440 gallons or less, $25 a gallon. And for those greater than 440, $30 a gallon. That would generate quite a bit of revenue that would take the heat off of the general user rates. Now, however, you also heard me mention that we're going to be $300,000 short on top of what we're projected for the generator. So that is an additional $300,000 that we did not anticipate. Those numbers I made Doug Lapp aware of, and he's experienced the same thing on his project he's working on. We're driven primarily by HVAC and electrical work. The United States is formed on capitalism, and it's working at its truest form with this. And I don't think the industry anticipated was when everything spiked price-wise, material-wise, and COVID. Everyone thought that the market would stabilize and drop, and I guess suppliers feel that if they could get it then, they could get it now. They're not dropping prices. Electrical contractors are booked so far out there that if you can find one, it's a miracle. We had a site walkthrough. We had one company show. We've had 3 or 4 take out drawings, and only one other company showed an interest to come in and do a walkthrough with Rick later on this week. So we are trying very hard not to go up on the user rates. I am giving that extra $300,000 shortfall to Weston Sampson to calculate into our rate study and see what effect it will have. And believe me, people, we're trying very hard not to do it. Again, I know you don't want to hear it. I as a rate user don't want to hear it, but we're paying for the sins of the past by not keeping pace with the industry.
May I add to that?
Huh?
May I add to that?
Yeah, please.
Our original plan for the plant upgrade was a steady increase over annually for the user fees of 10%. So I think we need to keep with that, looking at the numbers, while we wait for the rate study to be finished.
Oh, absolutely. We're going to progress with that 10%, but I think we've got to make our own choice rather than sit and get deeper in the hole. So
Yeah, I
we
just
can
want the
discuss that at the
just
next.
want the residents to be aware that the 10% increase is something that has been planned.
And again, I would like the residents to please ask questions. If they can't make a meeting, we can probably sit down, make a way to meet with you one-on-one to go over it.
Or send it through email and we can add it to our working session.
Yeah, we could please send it to you, but like Sherry said, send it to email. It's important you ask these questions and know why. Next on the agenda is the superintendent update. I want to announce that our new superintendent, Mr. Michael Buckley, is no longer with us. That was a mutual decision. We realized that he realized also that we just didn't have the experience necessary for the job. And we parted ways. I want to say that I think Mr. Buckley is a gentleman. He is one of the nicest men I've ever met. And I wish him all the luck in the world in the future. So we are now progressing, looking for a new superintendent. With that said, I heard this one fool say it's with a heavy heart that I give you these news, and that fool's on the screen. Our plant project manager, Mr. Rick Katush, who's been here for 26 years, is leaving us for another position. I'll let him go into reasons if he cares to, but Rick has got a long commute. And after 26 years, and now that he's coming close to his 80th birthday, he realizes he can't handle it anymore. And I mentioned him today that just to look on his face, that knowing that stress is off, looks like it's taken about 5 years off his life. But Rick, I can't thank you. I don't think the residents know or have any appreciation for what you've done or what you bring to the table. But from Chuck Hession's seat, I want to thank you for everything you have done for me. You have taught me more than I could learn from any textbook. I am just indebted to you for the rest of your life, and I wish you nothing but the best of luck. And I hope you stay in touch.
Totally.
With that, I'm going to turn it over to, but what I think I want to add to that so people don't hit the panic button, former assistant project manager, Megan Lynch, will be coming back as the project manager. So, I'm looking at it as an upgrade. I'm upgrading. I'm getting a newer model. Less wear and tear, No,
There you
but
go. There you
Rick,
go.
thank you very much for everything. I'm going to let you take over Veolia now.
Yep, absolutely. All right, so I will end my conversation with that topic afterwards. So as far as the facility, in May, we reported one violation for flow. It was 2.6 million gallons per day. As everyone knows from these meetings, and the limit is 2.5. So we were close, but also at the same time, we did have some significant rain of 8.87 inches of rain. So the flow's coming down. I mean, that's the good thing. It's June. I don't anticipate any violation for this month since it's been nice and hot in the 90s, as we all know. And like I said,
Overall flow average, so people don't
yep,
get all of their hopes up, is
Yep.
still way up there.
sure, true. Yeah, but that's just 1 month. You talked on the generator stash. You're correct, Chuck.
Yeah, that you're cool on that.
Yeah, so we're good on that. I do have the name of the company that'll be coming in on Monday, the 24th, is Electrical Design and Control, and they're out of Wilmington, Mass. So
Are you going to have Chucky do the tour?
yep. So they're supposed to be on site, I think, around 7:30 Monday morning.
You said they're electrical design?
Yep, the name of the company is that was through Adam through Wright Pierce. Electrical Design and Control is the name of their company. And I've already spoke to the gentleman a couple times.
Okay.
On that subject, though, listening to Sherry, the new generator that we're anticipating to be delivered in October is actually being delivered by Milton Cat next Tuesday, June 25th. So it's hit the facility a lot sooner than we all anticipated. Originally, when we did this, we were talking over a year, and I've been in touch with them, and like I said, it will be at the facility next Tuesday. So the timing of getting a contractor in there obviously is of the essence. R&M, same, no changes. Clarifier aerators, really no changes with that with Wright Pierce. Overall equipment, I do have an issue, and I'd like to get the approval of the board. We
Is that
have,
why you're bailing? Because you got another issue?
we have, the influent VFD, number 3. It's been acting up. So every time we have a power outage, or now we're noticing, and even when the pump's in lead, it's just randomly tripping out. So we've been monitoring it. I've had multiple electricians look at it, and we finally determined that the VFD number 3 needs to be replaced. The cost of that, which I like to get approval of the board, is $5,100. I've already asked the contractor if he could do perform this job in July, and he said no problem. It's actually going to take a couple of weeks to order it. So with that, Chuck, I'd like your approval to replace. So before I end that on the VFD, just want the board to know I'm only replacing one of them at 5,100, but just please be aware that the other 2 were all put in at the same time. But as of right now, all I want to do is replace the one that is not working. So let's see. So that's it on the VFDs.
Well, before you do that, I'd
No.
like to make a motion that are you gonna get both hard copy quotes for that?
Yep.
Yep, we have quotes and that's the whole ball of wax.
Yep. That's
Once
everything.
we get that, we
5,100.
can give you the approval at the next working session.
Yep, I can get you all that information.
Okay.
Okay. So like I said, it's not.
You better skip right over staffing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's all I think that's all I got left, right? I believe. Yeah, it is looking at the agenda. So like Chuck said, it's with great regret that I am leaving after 26 years. I appreciate everything all the towns, all the previous boards that have done for me. It's been a great career. I just want to let everybody know that I was not looking for a job. The job actually came to me. As people know, in the wastewater field, it's a tight community. I received call from a competitor, but gentleman that I've worked with in the past, and they said to me, "Hey, where do you live?" And I told them where I was living, and he says, "I might have something for you." And then I forgot about it. 3 weeks later, I got a phone call. He said, "We need to meet," and he had an offer letter in hand, and it was basically, like Chuck said, I feel so much pressure. I mean, it's, the workload I've been used to. I've wore so many hats at the facility for so many years, but I mean, I've always made this commute that's well over an hour, going home well over an hour. And this facility that I'm going to go to, that's not run by Veolia, is literally 13 minutes from my house with a commute of about 22 minutes. So it was kind of like a no-brainer. And they said,
Hard.
and I'll be honest with you, this is the closest I've worked to my home in my whole life. And, and I'm really, like I said, like Chuck said, I'm really looking forward to it. I know the management team, which I will be of, and I think we're going to do great things in this city.
As long as we have you as a resource to reach out to. and
Absolutely. I've already
I'll make that clear. I'll clear that with your new boss, and because it's in his best interest to stay on my good side as
Yeah,
well.
we're a small knit community, wastewater water operators, and I've already been cleared by my new employer that by all means I can help out and do the next report that's due, and I have no issues doing that. Like I said, and Chuck, I have a lot of resources, and I'm trying to get my phone number from Veolia transferred over to me, so I'm working on that, so that way I don't lose any contacts.
Awesome.
So
Rick, I couldn't wish you more.
thank you.
I couldn't be happier for you, to be honest with you. It's screwing me, screwing the town of Rockland, but like I said, I couldn't be happier for you.
Thank you.
Look at the face. That's the first time I've seen that face smile in
I
months.
know. I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, but I'm leaving, at the same point, it's disappointing because I'm leaving a lot of friends, and I call
No. You
Yeah.
never friends there.
and I call my coworkers friends because they all are the past of some of the older ones that have been there with me. I've had 3 of them that have been with me for well over the same time, 26 years. So they're like brothers. They're like brothers. So it's tough, but I know it's time. And that's all I can say. And like I said, I wish the board success and and obviously I'm gonna keep track of the
You're damn right, because I'm not gonna let you off the hook.
you know, I know that. Trust me, I will keep an eye on you, Chuck.
Rick, thanks again.
Someone has to watch him.
10 minutes away from home, you're crazy not to do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, with that, I'll open up,
Rick, Rick,
any
Rick,
questions?
Rick, I didn't want to hear this news, but I'm really happy for you.
Thank you.
So,
Appreciate
good
it.
luck.
Thank you.
With that, I'll open up for any questions or comments from the public.
Yes, I have one.
Go ahead, Mary.
Um,
I'm not gonna bother you at the address, I know it. Go ahead, you're on.
Okay, on the South Weymouth Naval Air Station update, no developer in the town of Rockland dictates who's going to do what work. And you can ask Bob Galvin that and Tom Henderson. Planning board decides who does the work for a developer, and the developer has to pay. So doesn't Concom and zoning board. of
Hold on a minute, back up a second. No, because you're telling me something I didn't know. So you're telling me that in that letter that I received from New England Development, where they're proposing to do where they're saying they will do the work, it's not up
Yeah,
to.
they don't do the
Hold
work.
on, let me finish, 'cause I'm trying to understand this. It's not up to sewer or them, it's up to the planning board, even though they have
No,
nothing.
no, it's up to it. No, it is up to the sewer department to choose who does the smoke detection in the piping.
Oh,
And
okay.
the developer has to pay for that consultant to do. Concom chooses their consultants to do their work for Concom, but the developer has to pay for that work. The same with planning board. Planning board chooses what engineers do their work, and the developers have to pay for that.
Okay,
You would be setting a precedent by letting this developer tell you who's going to do smoke detection. And you can ask Bob Galvin that,
no,
and
like I said,
Tom Henderson.
I sent the letter to Bob Galvin, I sent the letter to him. I had phone conversations with him. I sent him the letter May 24th. I had a phone conversation with him Monday night, raising my concerns. He's aware of my concerns, and that was one of them. What I want, again, my big thing is what are there, even if we do the work, Mary, once I take money from them, what is this board's obligation? What do they want out of this? Nobody does.
You have no obligation to that. What they get is the report that your engineer gives you.
Okay, what I want is that in writing. That's what in
Yes, you get the report in writing. You hire some.
I know the
Planning
report,
board
Mary.
hires Patrick Brennan, and I
Mary.
forget the name of his new
Yeah,
company.
hold, time out.
Zoning Board of Appeals does the same thing.
I know that, but all I want is I want something in writing telling me that from a lawyer. I have no problem doing that. I have no problem picking an engineering firm. I don't want the fox watching the chicken coop. So I've
Let him
got, I will do my due diligence. What else you got, kid?
Wait,
Mary? Mary,
what?
you got anything else, or?
No, but that is the issue.
No, I
Other
know,
boards, they choose.
I know,
They choose, and it is in writing. You can ask them.
okay, I'm writing it down now to ask. This is new to me too, that's why I'm asking these questions. You know, if you have that link, by the way, for that supplemental filing, I lost that. If you could somehow get
Oh,
that.
for the draft supplemental environmental impact report, I can send that to you. Your
Okay.
best bet is to ask for a hard copy, so you don't get the 1,642 pages of nonsense.
All right, I'll ask for a hard copy. I'll see if I can get it on the E-drive, on a thumb drive.
I'll send you the link.
Okay, anything else?
Just that, what you mentioned something about, an email. So I'll put it in a, public records request.
Okay. Okey doke.
And I'll put in a public, and thank you for the work that you do, because Sherry, that was a wonderful presentation you did.
She did. Sherry does good work. Try not to compliment her too much or it'll get too big.
Thank you.
No, it has never been done before.
That's why I said,
That's
Mayor,
why I say
anything
that.
we say, we can document. With that, I'll take a motion in tonight's meeting. No rush, everybody. There's no Red Sox game tonight.
I'll make the motion.
Dan,
Second.
good job staying awake. I have a motion, second. All in favor, Mr. Ross,
Yes.
Ms. Valley.
Yes.
I'm a yes. Rick, you in tomorrow morning?
I am. I'm in all
We'll
next
see you
week.
tomorrow morning.
All right, we'll see you. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Good luck.
Night.
Thank you.